I told you guys earlier this week that Clash in Paris was going to end in controversy. Holy shit, it ended in controversy. Like, I don't have the words to describe the chaos that we literally just saw at Clash in Paris. Like, there are no words, only expressions. And one thing that comes into mind, one sentence that comes into mind is holy shit. 2 words, plain simple. Holy shit. Clash in Paris was truly a night to remember, and I said that this was the last PLE on Peacock, and they were going out with the bang, and damn it, they fucking did just that. So we kick off the show with a massive match. Ooh, ow. Almost poked my eye out. Almost poked my eye out. Anyway, we kick things off with big meaty men slapping meat. Yes, we got Roman Reigns, the OTC, and the Oscilla Bronson Reed. This was actually one this was something that I touched on just a little bit on here on the channel earlier this week. I talked about how this was a must-win ordeal for Roman Reigns, because if he lost, what would be next? Where does Roman Reigns go from here? Yes, he does want the world heavyweight championship. He wants that more than anything else. He even admitted that his time will come once again, but yet no one knows when. No one knows when that happens. If he lost, what does the future hold for the OTC? But what would happen if Bronson Reed won? Obviously, it would mean huge opportunities for Bronson Reed in the foreseeable future. But unfortunately, it was not the case. This was probably by far one of the weirdest matches we've seen out of Roman Reigns. We knew that he was coming into this match with a massive weight disadvantage. Roman came into this match 265 pounds. Bronson Reed 330 pounds. That's literally a little over 120 pounds completely off. Literally, like at least what? Oh, at least that's what? Hold on, let me check. Let's see. So, 330 minus 265. Literally, that is a 65. It is a 65-pound weight difference that Roman Reigns was coming into. But we all know, when it comes to the OTC, he always finds a way to overcome the odds. And damn it, the son of a bitch actually did. And it literally took a Samoan drop from the top rope and a spear to pick up the victory for Roman Reigns. And then he decides to apply the guillotine to Paul Heyman, getting payback for what happened for what Heyman did to Roman at WrestleMania. He gets back his shoes, decides to cut the laces out, and was like, you know what? All right, sign, and throw it into the WWE universe. And as he was doing that, bam, he gets hit with the spear by Braun Breaker. Multiple tsunamis by Bronson Reed. Jey Uso gets involved. He gets taken out. And unfortunately, Roman Reigns did get carted away on a stretcher, being sent to a local hospital in Gay Paris, France. There are no words, right? There are no words to describe how dominant the division has been over the last several months. Which again, this dates all the way back to WrestleMania. We knew that we knew, and I touched on it when I did my prediction video for WrestleMania earlier this year. I talked about how Rollins had to have some plan, some form of an idea, and turns out that it was Paul Heyman stabbing CM Punk in the back and stabbing Roman Reigns in the back to team with Seth Rollins, which, yeah, we knew it was bound to happen at some point, but here we are. Next up, the WWE Tag Team titles were defended as the Street Profits looked to silence the Wyatt Six and regain the Tag Team titles and become, I believe, 5-time Tag Team Champions, if I remember correctly. They've won the NXT Tag Team titles. They've won the SmackDown Tag titles, the Raw Tag Team titles, now the WWE Tag titles. So so they were looking to become 5-time Tag Team Champions. And after what Bo Dallas had said this past Friday night on SmackDown, it seemed as if there was a little bit of turmoil within both Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, as Dawkins insisted to start the match and not Tez. However, B-Fab finally got through to them and was like, you know what? Y'all bitches need to wake the fuck up and win this fucking match. And they were like, yeah, she's right. Let's just focus on the match, and then we'll go ahead and rip each other's ears off then after. And they did. They literally took the White Six to the limit. But we all know when it comes to Uncle Howdy, he always has a plan, much like Seth Rollins. This one was no different, as all the members of the White Six, Nikki Cross, Eric Rowan, got involved in the match, and and unfortunately, Uncle Howdy decided to hit Sister Abigail onto Montez Ford, which allowed both Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis to hit a suplex powerbomb combo that they called the Plague to retain the tag team titles. Huge props to the Street Profits. But now the question becomes, can anyone stop the Wyatt Six? Not sure if there's anyone who can. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Next up, we've got the Women's Intercontinental title between the Man Becky Lynch and the Hall of Famer Nikki Bella. I'm just gonna be real, like, this was a complete lopsided match. I mean, we knew that Nikki Bella was coming in pretty focused, pretty damn determined, but it just wasn't enough. She literally was off her game, big, like, no pun intended with Becky Lynch being known as big time, but she was Nikki Bella was off her game big time. She barely got any of her big moves in. She had a couple of submissions in, a couple of shots, and that was it. Becky Lynch completely destroyed Nikki Bella, retaining the title with a roll-up pin to retain the Women's Intercontinental title. And now the question becomes this: what's next for Nikki Bella? Where does she go from here? After what happened tonight, I think it's pretty safe to say that Nikki Bella, literally the ring rust became a massive factor going into this matchup. But next up, speaking of Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed, we got some more big meaty men slapping meat. The Big E special, as I like to call it. Sheamus, Rusev, and an old-fashioned Donnybrook. Yeah, this was the ultimate case of big meaty men slapping meat. They completely tore each other apart. It was literally a banger. Huge props to both men. Just pure chaos. Tables were broke. Shillelaghs were used. Steel chairs were used. A bar was broken. Was broken through. Chairs were broken through. Shillelaghs were broken through. Knee strikes. Machka kicks. It was all over the place. And there was even a spot where Sheamus hit white noise from the top of a stack of wheelbarrows of barrels, really large beer barrels, through two tables, and not even that was enough. As Rusev kicked out of that, and in the final moments, Rusev hits Sheamus in the back with a shillelagh, making him tap out to the accolade using the shillelagh, which became only the second time in Sheamus' illustrious career that he actually taps out to a submission. Think about that, guys. That proves that Sheamus does not back down. That right there is the ultimate proof. Speaking of instant classics, this next one was exactly that. An instant classic. John Cena, Logan Paul, two megastars from two totally different worlds. You have Logan Paul, who's a social media icon, and then you got John Cena, who's an icon in professional wrestling, who is a 17-time champion. Think about that. Think about that. After 5 months of being a heel, we finally get we get the real John Cena back, and this was literally an instant classic. There are no words to describe how insane that match was, because John Cena brought out everything. Attitude Adjustment, STFU, Styles Clash, Code Red. He literally brought out everything, even also an End of Days, which was used by Baron Corbin, who's no longer with WWE. In fact, now I think he's just doing his own thing outside of WWE, which is huge for him. Congrats to Baron Corbin on all of his success outside of WWE. I can totally see Baron Corbin coming back at some point, but it's a matter of when. But yeah, literally, End of Days, Styles Clash, Code Red, Attitude Adjustment, STFU. He literally brought everything to this fight, and it was exactly that. Logan Paul gave it his all as well in that match, bringing in his Paul from Grace frog splash, that titanium screwed in right hand. Literally everything, but it wasn't enough as John Cena pins Logan Paul using multiple attitude adjustments, multiple AAs to win his match against Logan Paul, which was truly an instant classic. Absolutely crazy, you guys. Absolutely crazy. Props to Logan Paul. I think he's truly earned our respect after that matchup, but Cena's right. He still has a long way to go if he wants to become a world champion in WWE. Speaking of world champions, we now move into the main event of Clash in Paris for the World Heavyweight title. Fatal 4-Way, Seth freaking Rollins, CM Punk, main event Jey Uso, and of course, LA Knight. Yeah, this was I don't even know how to describe it. Like, we knew that Punk was gonna go after Seth Rollins. We knew LA Knight wanted Rollins. Literally all three of them wanted to get their hands on Seth Rollins, and this was another instant classic. We knew that Adam Pearce earlier in the show announced to the Vision that they could not get involved in the match in any way, shape, or form. They could not come back into the building, otherwise they would be suspended indefinitely without pay. Meaning that they weren't gonna be paid shit. Like literally, that was their pay. That would have been their pay. A pile of shit. Like literally, like that was gonna be their pay. But obviously, out of respect for Seth Rollins, both of the Brawns decided, you know what? All right, we'll leave. And they did just that, and Rollins went at it on his own. Or did he? Knowing Seth Rollins, he always has a plan B. And in the final moments, the final minutes of the match, he did exactly have a plan B. Seth Rollins attempted to literally destroy CM Punk's career by stomping him, by hitting him with the stomp, with the chair wrapped around Punk's neck. He moves out of the way, hits Rollins with a GTS, and as he was about to hit him with a second GTS to end the match, BAM! A low blow to CM Punk. But who was it? None other than the Intercontinental Champion, Becky Lynch. Seth Rollins' own wife hits him with a low blow, allowing Seth Rollins to hit Punk with the stomp to retain the World Heavyweight title. I have to say, if I'm being completely honest, there are so many questions that must be asked with this idea, with this whole ordeal. Was this a one-time deal? Is Becky Lynch a part of the Vision? Has she joined up with Rollins to make the Vision stronger and now more deadlier than it already is now? What's next? What is next for Jey Uso? What's next for CM Punk? What's next for LA Knight? What will be the condition of Paul Heyman? Will he even be able to show up to Raw tomorrow night when it lands in Paris? I believe it should be in the same venue as Clash in Paris. No one knows. No one knows any of the answers to these questions but Seth Rollins. But I will say, Clash in Paris was truly something to remember, because they did announce that this would be the last PLE on Peacock. So we do want to give a big shout out to everyone at Peacock for giving us some of the greatest premium live events in WWE history, including Clash in Paris, including this past year's WrestleMania, including last year's WrestleMania, and let's also not forget the Royal Rumble earlier this year. Earlier this year in Indianapolis. Thank you guys. Thank you, Peacock. Hopefully, let's hope that in 5 years from now, when the ESPN deal comes to a close, maybe WWE will move back to Peacock for another 5, maybe even another 10 years. Only time will tell. But we do also want to give a big shout out to everyone who attended Clash in Paris earlier today in Paris, France, who showed up to SmackDown this past Friday in Lyon, and to everyone who will be attending Monday Night Raw tomorrow night in Paris. Shout outs to all of you guys. You guys truly brought the noise. And with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want more premium live event predictions and results in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.